Hello beautiful people and welcome back to MDG Media for the 2025 Eastern Meadows Open presented by RocketDiscs.com. We're here for the final 18 holes of the tournament, more specifically front nine in this video. My name is Elias Luukkonen and with me Maxime Tanghe.
Hey Elias, how is it going this morning?
I'm doing great, I'm not tired, I'm excited for this round. Are you excited?
I'm excited. From what I've seen on the course yesterday. I'm pretty happy. The conditions were easier also, more gentle, so let's wait for some good action.
Yeah, good action, and fortunately we were able to plant a spy on the lead card. But first, Clay Edwards, leader of the tournament after 2 rounds, pretty commanding lead, 4 strokes above the rest of the field.
Comfortable lead for him. Let's see if he's able to keep it. Lauri Lehtinen second on the chase. Let's see if he's able to get back at our American guests.
And Nestori Tuhkanen, I'd say he's the best 1006 rated player in the world right now, playing consistently 25, 30 points, even 40 points above his rating every weekend. Really hot start to the season. And here's the spy that I was talking about.
And here is the spy representing Kastaplast, Elias Luukkonen, your commentator.
Exactly.
How is it to comment on yourself?
Man, it's so nice, it's so easy, you know everything, and you can give hopefully some great insight. That's what I'm trying to do here. Starting on hole number 1, same hole as first 2 rounds, 107 meters. We're going uphill, so you probably have to throw a hard fairway driver or a medium hard distance driver to reach it. Shape is very natural for that flat to fading shot. You want to hit the gap and miss just a couple trees at the end to park the hole, or if you hit a couple trees you might have that circle 2 look. Feel like it's a pretty difficult hole to park, but a lot of those 10 to 15 meter putts.
And a very Finnish card also. 3 players from Finland, 1 from the States. And it's about to start.
First up, presented by Kastaplast from Charlotte, United States. Let's get a warm round of applause for Clay Edwards!
Clay, a lone American on the card. Says that he really enjoys playing in Europe though. Great atmosphere by his words. And this is gonna be a little bit wide. Needs to get some luck through the trees.
Not too bad. Is he inside the circle?
Outside.
Just outside.
From Jyväskylä, Finland. Let's get a warm round of applause for Lauri Lehtinen!
One of the best players in Europe, from my perspective. Starting the round at 9 down. Unfortunate. The only garden tree in your way when you hit the gap.
Presented by Latitude 64 and Faber Store from Mikkeli, Finland. Let's get a warm round of applause for Nestori Tuhkanen!
Nestori has a good record for this season. Played solid in Scotland in the first Q Series, played really well last week in Konopiste, even challenging the leaders. And a good setup for him here to hopefully challenge our leader for this round.
Presented by Kastaplast, Heatland and Vaiu. From Sundsberg, Finland, let's get a warm round of applause for Elias Luukkonen!
You can see I have 2 discs in my hand, this one being a 10 speed, so I decided to throw rather a shot with more power and slower disc. But I actually end up shanking it to the right and really high.
Not too bad of a result. Not your best drive.
No, I feel like this is a tricky angle for me to hit on the first tee. Let's see if Lauri can get a nice little circle too. He was actually really disappointed with that run. He was in fact running it, and a little tester left from 7.5.
Nestori going for it. Better height, too early.
Look at that. Clay Edwards. That must be an amazing feeling, being the leader into the final round and 2 people already missed their birdie putts and you just bang it from so far out.
And Lauri with a tester. Oh, slightly too low. Good line for Mr. Luukkonen.
Yeah, I thought I had that one. Little 13-meter uphill. And this is important putt for Lauri here. Really don't want to start off with a bogey on this hole, as only about 12% of the field are getting a bogey or worse.
Good for the confidence on Lauri's hand. And some pars.
Yeah, talking about confidence, I'm not very confident on this 3-meter putts right now. I think it's nicer to putt hard when you're a little bit nervous, but from 3 meters you really can't putt that hard with a spit out risk. Moving on to exactly, very difficult hole here, playing well above par, 3rd most difficult hole on the course. Want to throw a flex forehand here, you can either take the wider gap, so go on the right edge of the tee pad and throw much more anhyzer with a more overstable disc. That makes the fairway a little bit longer, or the hole makes a little bit longer. If you go inside with a straighter flex shot with a forehand, that makes the hole a little bit shorter, easier to reach. I'd say the safer shot is going around the outside, as you're going to see a couple of players do. Clay has been hitting this shot actually really nice in the past 2 rounds.
Fading a bit early. Not too bad. Some trees in the way. 35 meters to scramble his way to the basket.
Lauri with a good release, but just not really putting anhyzer on the disc. It's a very tight angle that you have to hit here. And Nestori going just next to the first tree. Look at this angle out of the hand.
This is great.
Best drive of the weekend, do you think?
From what we've filmed, probably. From what I've heard, not sure.
So 2 guys having gone around the outside. I'm going inside. Hit it almost really good, but just still tight on the right side. Such a tight angle if you want to get all the way down there. But I have a putt from 20.
Yeah, going for the inside line. Did you try going outside of the first tree?
Actually, I never tried that. Maybe I should have. Because it seems like that was the more consistent play for the players that were doing it.
And probably the safest also.
Probably the safest. Talking about safe play, I'm trying to run this softly with my...
Great control.
Yeah, just trying to give it a soft bid there. No harm for the par though. And Clay actually has a really tricky spot. He had this first tree in his way, so he couldn't do a normal swing. That's what you see him going for, that patent pending.
And a very important tester. This is great. 2 C2 putts to start the round, around 12 meters. 1 slightly uphill, 1 slightly downhill with some danger behind, showing the confidence.
That's gonna be 1 stroke on Clay there from Nestori.
Yeah, 5 strokes now between our leader and the 2 finish.
Yeah, 5 strokes is a lot, especially on a course like this, as the course is with no wind as we have today. The course is playing quite easy. So you will have to birdie a lot of holes if you have to make up 5 strokes or 4 strokes. Lauri is in a slightly more favorable position there than me, Nestori, or was before the last hole anyway. Hole number 3. This is gonna be, I'd say it's gonna be a very similar shape to hole 1 actually, where we're going uphill. You wanna throw something more overstable this time though, because you wanna push the backside with that very overstable disc and hopefully fade early around the corner. So you see these 2 trees on the right side of the screen right now. You want to fly either in front of them to the left or go for that backside gap and go around them with a straighter glider disc. But it's very natural for the backhand straight to hyzer shot. Everybody's gonna be going with a nice overstable driver here.
This is looking good. Yeah, 6 meters max.
Pretty much a perfect shot there from Nestori.
Oops. Some scramble incoming for Clay. Shouldn't be too hard on that right side. He's not too deep into the woods.
This is inside, but there is that inside gap and Lauri actually hits it perfectly. Just 5 meters left for the birdie. It's pretty lucky there.
And
So-
the legend.
I'm trying to go outside of those 2 trees. Interesting to see. Yes, actually, that was very nice. So a bit of a straighter disc, bit of a lower line than those first 3. And Clay, another tricky approach. He's not really making it easy on himself in these first 3 holes.
First real birdie attempt. Oh my gosh. Tell us how you feel, bro.
Yeah, not the prettiest moment. I was very happy with my release, being somewhat nervous on that putt.
It was dead center, perfect putt.
Can't really do much about those. The basket was slightly leaning on this hole, so I think the chains were not quite as firm as on some other baskets. But there you go, Lauri with a better pace, and Clay also with a good par save here.
Yeah, Lauri showing the problem you were mentioning. Two in a row. 4 strokes now.
Nestori saying that he got 4 out of 4 bullseye birdies on that hole. Pretty impressive stuff. Hole number 4. Now we're starting the easiest stretch on the course. Holes 4 through 9 are gonna be all very birdieable and all holes that you really want to birdie. This one suits really nicely for a tight forehand hyzer with an overstable mid-range or an overstable approach disc, even an overstable fairway driver. Wanna miss couple of trees in the middle, either on the left or the right side. You can choose if you want to go tighter or less tight, and pretty important not to go too far past the basket here, as there's a big slope behind the green. But also don't leave it too far short, because that 10-meter putt, 10-meter death putt is not going to be very nice.
Yeah, it might be better to be slightly too long in the end. Or just parked.
Parked is good. I think Nestori likes his chances from there.
Going for a turkey. Lauri now.
Very wide line, but moving enough to the right where, yeah, it's gonna be okay there. Actually, surprising result. I was wondering how the disc would end up there, but he got pretty fortunate with the skip there, not to have a death putt.
Higher line for Clay. And very clean also.
I'm going with an overstable approach disc here.
Oh.
Too high there on the left. Angle was fine, but just bringing that branch into play for no reason. Not exactly what you want to do here. And now I actually have a tricky approach left. A little 50-meter forehand. Trying to go with a slow forehand here. Off the tree and to about 6 meters.
Yeah, good results. Decent shot. And a good birdie for Lauri to go 11 down. And to put a bit of pressure on Clay's shoulders. A bit of nerves on this putt or not?
No, the nerves are gone now with the spit out. Good birdie from Clay, and looks like I'm gonna be unfortunately ruining our star frame on this hole. But everybody else happy with their birdies. It's a hole you definitely want to get, but you can't take it for granted. Similar thing on this hole number 5. Just 103 meters. It's a very basic shot. Everybody can throw this shot with almost any of their discs in their bag. You can choose to go for a straighter or more of a flip up or a bit of a flex shot even if you want to. Most important thing, just hit the gap of the tee and then hit the late gap also about 20 meters in front of the basket. Rather stay a little bit short and hit the hillside in front of the basket to slow your disc down. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see a mid-range play from Nestori and Lauri, and fairway drivers for me and Clay. And Nestori on this shot got extremely lucky. So he pulled it all the way around the outside of the fairway. Pulled it way to the right, but didn't hit a single tree, and he's just 5 meters away.
And this is far better. Piercing the tunnel. Very nice from Lauri. This hole was not that easy on the first 2 rounds, I'd say, with the crosswind going from left to right. Now it's more comfortable.
Yeah.
And you can see everybody's piercing it.
Yeah, everybody besides Nestori so far hitting the fairway, and him also not getting punished. I'm just trying to follow Clay's line here with fairway driver.
This is the smoothest shot of the group.
Yeah, very happy with my shot here.
Beautiful.
Just 4 meters left for birdie.
And great form also. Very smooth, not forcing anything.
Thank you, sir. Nestori and Lauri were giving us some crap about throwing fairway drivers, saying that we can't reach it with a mid-range. Everybody with just short putts for birdie. Looking like a pretty likely star frame here. Just me and Clay left, both from around 4 meters. This one I decided to go a bit softer, not to risk the spit out, hopefully. You can already see the scorecards looking very clean for this round. It's definitely gonna be a day, since the wind is so far down. Wanna be scoring birdies and pars at most, no bogeys hopefully.
Definitely cleaner than yesterday. Hole 6, one of the easiest.
Statistically, even the easiest hole. Just 89 meters. It's gonna be an easy forehand hyzer if you have the distance and the control with your overstable fairway driver. You can even go overstable distance driver if you want. That's gonna be the most common play. There's also a straight gap available, but not so common here. Wanna land about 5 meters short and skip your way up to the green. You're almost always in the circle on this hole if you have that forehand shot in your arsenal. That's gonna be nice in the circle for Nestori. We actually had a right to left wind on this hole, so the discs were dropping out of the sky more than you would think.
And a good shot again. Bit more tight.
Yeah, a little bit inside there. Still gonna be putting from that 10-meter range though. And I'm trying to read the wind also, as the wind is coming actually pretty strongly from the right at this moment. Trying to go a bit inside here, which I end up doing. And got a little skip out there to the right. Clay here, very important putt. And airballing it surprisingly. I feel like his putt has looked very solid throughout the week. Alright, so this one, I have potentially one of the lowest ceilings of my life. And just unable to get it up. I tried to snap it through the branch. Just couldn't put too much power on it. And pretty frustrating hole to miss, to be honest.
And Nestori keeping the pace. 5 in a row. 3 strokes on clay now.
Wanna hear a crazy stat about this hole?
Tell me.
There were 3 players in the field who were not inside of circle 2 on their drive. Everybody else inside of circle 2.
And same for Lauri. Getting interesting.
In January 2026, MDG Media is heading to Senegal for a mission unlike any before. Not just to film disc golf, but to build it from the ground up. We will create the country's first ever disc golf course, visit local schools, donate discs and baskets, and share the game with communities ready to discover it. Through every step, you will be right there with us, thanks to a full-length documentary and live updates on social media. This is not just a one-time trip. It's about spreading the disc golf spirit and making a lasting impact. We truly believe that our sport can help make the world a better place.
Don't forget to hit the QR code, guys. We need your help. Thank you for that. Hole 7.
From the easiest hole on the course to the second easiest hole on the course. This one being so short, 58 meters. You have one gap to hit, about 10 to 15 meters before the basket, and we're flying through it right now. When I hit it with a straight backhand that fades a little bit left, or you can even go for a straight forehand if you want to. Most important thing is just to hit the gap and don't throw it too high, because the gap does offer a bit of a low ceiling. So just hit the rocks before the basket and tap it in for birdie. Nestori there. Could hit through the gap, but he hit the low ceiling there. Still gonna be just about 6-7 meters left. So no worries for him.
Good shot.
Lauri was saying on the tee pad that he hasn't birdied the hole yet in the tournament.
He can be happy about his shot then. Good one from Clay also. 6-7 meters in coming uphill.
I'm going forehand. Little weird bounce there on the hillside, but I'm still in the circle here. Just a little 9-meter uphill putt. Trying to putt it pretty hard to get the distance. I'm very happy with the release there.
2 down. Slow start, but no mistakes. Still all black and green. Very good putt from Nestori. Double turkey. 6 down on the last 6 holes. Good answer. Still 3 strokes.
And that's going to be the second star frame of the round already. Very well done by the card. Notice how every time I get a birdie, it's a star frame.
Coincidence? Hole 8, 91 meters.
Couple options here. You have a gap off the tee, and then you have this later gap about 50 meters in front of the tee pad. You want to go below the branch, ideally, if that's your play, with a straight to overstable forehand. most people are throwing their fairway drivers on this hole, so 91 meters. You can still throw it pretty hard if you want to with the hillside behind the basket. Rather throw it a bit too straight than a bit too far to the right. And yeah, it's once again a very birdieable hole. You would want to have a putt on this hole almost every time.
And Nestori is about to have one. Very good. Must be 6-7 meters max from the chains.
Lauri.
Is this?
Big mistake, and that's actually OB.
Wow.
Many people didn't even realize there was OB in that spot on the hole. But in fact, he is OB and Clay with the most perfect shot you can throw. That's beautiful. I'm trying to go with more of a hyzer release here.
Oh my god.
And not great. I'm actually going OB right next to Lauri. I'd say that's probably the two worst shots we have seen on the hole. And actually not an easy approach from here. A very tight gap to hit with a forehand.
Not sure where you landed.
We'll see. Lauri there. He had a good approach. I actually landed on top of the shelf here.
Oh.
So my putt is actually going about 5 meters forward and 4 meters downward.
Very nice.
Good enough.
Actually talking to Charlie, our catch cam for the weekend.
Nestori there finishing his almost perfect front nine. Excuse me, it's not finishing his front nine, but finishing his front 8 there. 7 birdies in a row.
Yeah, Nestori is cruising right now, pushing Clay to be not as perfect as him, but make him play very nice also. 5 down through 8 is very comfortable. Start hole 9 now, 94 meters.
Last hole of this easy stretch. Want to throw something straight with a little bit of fade through this gap. Ideally end up rather left than right, because the main danger on this hole is that OB long right of the basket. So you don't want to throw something that turns or flips up even a little bit. Want to keep it going straight to left and hopefully land soft, as this green does not let your disc sit down very often if you come with a lot of speed. You'd rather either land it soft or a little bit short.
Very overstable disc. Not the best angle release, unfortunately. He's gonna have a tester for birdie outside the circle probably. And with some trees in the way on the left side. Too high for Clay.
Yeah, difference in disc selection once again. Nestori going with an overstable mid-range and Clay going with an overstable fairway.
Ouch.
Lauri. High to the right. Surprising miss. Now I have a chance to be the only person to put it even nearly in play on this one.
And you're doing it perfectly.
Yes, very
Whoa.
happy with this shot.
Smooth again.
Through an overstable mid-range, just try to land it soft. And from where these guys are, they don't really have much of a run at the basket even. Just trying to lay up, get it close.
Decent. Nothing crazy about it. He doesn't really need to go for glory. Nestori needs it.
Good run.
Bit low, almost. Need to push it a bit more.
As we see players tapping in for their pars, I think we have to give a shout out for Mattis Jarnehag, who was able to ace this hole in the final round. Congratulations, Mattis.
So we'll start the back nine with 3 strokes, excuse me, between Nestori and Clay. That's makeable. Hard, as you were saying, is very scoreable. Nestori will need to take a lot of birdies to get back at clay. Very nice front nine. Instead, allez, we just had 2 mistakes on hole 8, but apart from that, it was very, very cool to watch.
Yeah, it's nice to be on the card here and seeing this action for the second time. Lauri and Nestori still have a chance, especially Nestori. Lauri pretty much has to play perfect on the back to catch clay. Thank you guys for watching, and we're gonna see how this tournament unfolds. High level of play so far. Is it gonna continue on the back though? We're gonna see in just a second.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the back nine.